The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Friday morning, 60 minutes to go until the opening bell. And right now, we're getting non-farm payrolls as we speak. 8:30 a.m. We're going to get that number. We'll see how the market reacts. We got a lot going on, folks. Still election evening, you could call it, on Friday morning. Overnight, the big news out of the election, of course. If you're watching Tiger TV, you might have some idea that there's still some swing states out there. They're counting those mail-in ballots. Georgia actually swinging to Vice President Biden overnight as they're still counting the ballots. You got out there Pennsylvania, of course, Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, I think, as well. Right now, markets giving back some of the gains that we had over the last 2 days, but putting things in some context. There's your daily chart of the S&P. We're just going to zoom it in on the recent run we've had. You're talking about from where we were on last Friday. 1 week ago, you were at a low in the S&P of 322. Yesterday, folks, you closed at 350. So, yeah, we've given back 2 points in the SPY. Jumping up to the futures chart, you take a look at where we are, down about 23 points right now at 34.81. But again, some context here. The lows we had 1 week ago today, you're talking about 32.25. So how about 260 S&P points added in the span of, so far, 5 trading days. So giving it back a little bit, but from where we've come, not really any movement to speak of. And when you look at things overnight, we've bounced pretty nicely there. We had a low made at about 5 in the morning. Things looking a little bit dicey in the S&Ps. You were down there at 34.56. You're talking about almost 50 S&P points from a high at 3 in the morning of 35.02. You trade down to 34.56. And we're right in the middle of that, 34.83. We're catching a little bit of a bid. Non-farm payrolls for the month of October. How about 638,000, the headline number? They were looking for 580,000. Strong number, 638,000 jobs added. That's after ADP. I believe we had a miss earlier in the week on the ADP number that they were looking for. So the market digesting this as it digests quite a week that we've had. And there is the headline number, as we talked about, 638 versus 530. We'll get into that a little bit more as they break down the numbers, but that just hitting the tape at 8:30 a.m. this morning. So quite the week stocks have had, right? When you take a look at best election week in decades, quite the number. Right now, they don't know who the winner and the defeated are just yet. But when you look at the weekly returns we've had in the week of the election, elections, Tuesday, of course, the week of, we're at some staggering numbers. You got to go back to Franklin D. Roosevelt in the first of his 4 terms as president. That's right, 4, folks. We had to amend that rule after that. 11.6%. That was coming out of 1932. Quite a different time. Of course, you had the Great Depression back there as well. But nonetheless, we're talking about 7.4% coming into today. Quite the pop, and we got markets accelerating a little bit higher on that jobs number as it's liking it. 34.87, down 17 points right now. The NASDAQ 100 down about 93 points, 11,982. You get the Dow off 88, 28,207. Been quite a week for gold. Gold extending the gains, up about $5 right now at 19.51. You got silver up 50 cents at 25.69. We got to cover Bitcoin because it just keeps on going. How about 16,000? Last night, we just blew right through 14,000, right through 15,000, 16,155. We backed off a bit. Bitcoin, crypto, some serious volatility. We're up almost $400 at 15,655. And notes and bonds continuing the recent trend of pulling back a bit. We got lower price and higher yield today. The 10-year off 5 ticks at 138.23. The 30-year right now off 18 ticks at 173.26. And we got to take a look at the VIX this morning as the VIX really giving it back for most of the week from 41.09. That was last Friday. And then you back it all the way to 26.04. Quite the reduction in volatility priced into this market. We're up a bit as you have the market trailing off a bit, but we're catching a little bit of bid. catching a gain in the S&Ps, up about 15. Down 15. But look at where we just were on that 830 bar. The low, we're up about 15 S&P points since I came on the air 5 minutes and 12 seconds ago, folks. That's a fast move. All right, what else we got going on? There's the vote total in terms of the electoral. Now, what you'll always see, and we're in what is this? Tuesday. Really, the election nights start coming in Tuesday nights. You get Wednesday, Thursday. We're in the third full day of election results. Usually you wake up Wednesday morning. Arizona has been called by Fox News, AP, and Bloomberg is using Bloomberg is using Fox and the AP. They need two major outlets to call a race. Bloomberg using those two outlets. CNN has not called Arizona yet. Arizona's going to be close, man. Biden's got, 47,000 vote lead right now. When you look over Georgia, the one that swung overnight at about 4:30 in the morning, Vice President Biden leading by about 1,200 votes. They still got like 30 or 40,000 votes, even more than that, I believe, to count. That could be done this morning or today. And then Pennsylvania as well, getting a lot of attention there. You have President Trump clinging to a lead of about 20,000 votes, maybe a little bit less. And then Nevada out there as well. Nevada, you're talking about a lead of only about 11 or 12,000 votes. Staggering numbers, so close. And when you back it up and take a look at these 51-49s, they're across the board. Pennsylvania, 50-49. Nevada, 48-49. Georgia, 49-49. North Carolina, 50-49. Arizona, 50-49. And you see the estimated vote totals. Nevada, they got some votes coming in. Pennsylvania, 3% as well. And North Carolina, 94. And Arizona still's got about 10% of their votes to drop. Okay, what else we got going on? Checking into some of the stocks with action today. So Peloton out with their numbers last night. Recent spike in COVID-19 cases, lockdowns boosting sales. Should not be surprising, but they have a lot of growth priced into this equity and not quite what the markets were looking for. Let's see. Thought they had the exact numbers there. Nonetheless, they're dealing with some supply issues, Peloton as well. You see the volatility at a 130 all the way down to below 116. Right now, you're off about $4 on Peloton, trading from 126.63 to 122.44. Uber had their numbers after the bell last night as well. Some volatility there. They lost 62 cents. Market was looking for them to lose 66 cents, I believe. Revenue for the quarter, $3.13 billion. I'm paraphrasing. They were supposed to take in 3.2, so they missed on revenue. They are seeing the ride-hailing segment of their business coming back quicker than maybe they might have hoped. So that, given a little bit, you see the volatility. You see it spike lower on the conference call. A little bit of hope as the market actually spikes to 43.21. And remarkable, we're within about 20 cents of where we closed yesterday on Uber. And some context on this stock. I got this with a couple different notations. Quite a trading range. This thing's been bouncing around. I mean, you can make the argument all the way back to April. It's been bouncing between about $30, the lower end, $38. I mean, you see these highs, right? $38.78, $38.52, $38.35, and then boom, Prop 22 in California. That passes on Tuesday. It accelerates higher. 41.96 yesterday, and it's catching a little bit of a bid this morning. 41.77 trading higher. We get the S&Ps catching a little bit of a bid on that non-farm payroll number as well. Stay tuned, folks. We'll go over that non-farm payroll a bit. We got a lot of other equities moving with earnings. We'll be right back.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&P holding on to those gains it got on that 830 jobless claims number. We just spiked from about 34.77. We're up at about 34.90. You see the highs overnight, just at about 3,500 before the sell-off began of about, as I mentioned at the start of the show, you're talking about almost 50 S&P points that we traded from above 3,500 to a low at 5 a.m. of 34.56. We've now bounced 33 S&P points from those lows overnight. You're talking about almost a full percent. Talk about some volatility, and we still got about 50 minutes to go until the opening bell. All right, speaking of the weekly it's not weekly jobless, non-farm payroll number. I keep saying weekly jobless claims. Non-farm payroll number for the month of October. Jobless rate falling to 6.9%. Unemployment, that's a big number. They were looking for, the market, I believe, was 7.7 was the number they were looking for. Jumping around a bit. I got a lot of articles up here. Here we go. Yes, they've been looking for payroll gains of 530,000, an unemployment rate of a 7.7%. The unemployment rate for September, 7.9. So we come in at 6.9%. The jobless rate decline was positive as it came with a labor force participation rate that rose 0.3 percentage points to 61.7%. An alternative measure that includes discouraged workers or those holding part-time jobs for economic reasons also declined to 12.1% from 12.8%. So that number 12.1. And as COVID is marching on in a big way. All right, let's jump to some of the equities that are moving today. We talked about Peloton. We talked about Uber. You also have CVS out with their numbers today. Raises 2020 earnings guidance as planned to offer wide range of medical services pays off. So better than expected, 3.5% jump in third quarter revenue. Health services company paying off, and it's not surprising, folks. Remember when they were talking about that whole discussion? They wanted to call it CVS Health, and they had to ditch the cigarettes. It's kind of coming to fruition right now. Karen Lynch, they're going to have a new CEO starting February 1st. Earnings per share, $1.66 versus $1.33. Revenue, $67.06 versus $66.66 billion expected. Watch out for that number. On an unadjusted basis, they reported fiscal third quarter net income of $1.22 billion. Not bad, down from $1.53, all things considered, with everything going on. At the company's drugstore, sales rose in both the pharmacy and the front of the store as customers filled more prescriptions, got COVID-19 tests, and filled up bigger baskets of items, over-the-counter items. You know what's interesting? I hadn't even thought of it myself. I should have been in that CVS stock. I got a COVID test at CVS in like the last 90 days maybe or so. Came back negative, thankfully. But I did. They had drive-through testing. I was able to, it's self-administered drive-through. They put the little swab in the bin that pops out. You give yourself 2 big nasal swabs. And then I got the results by mail about 2 or 3 days later. It was pretty good, but I'm one of those people going through there. You go through the drive-through. And I believe that was free. As well. But thankfully came back negative. One of the lucky ones right now, the COVID numbers. We're well over 100,000 cases a day. We got an election in flux right now, and we got a lot of volatility in this market. Non-farm payroll number is a strong number, though. When you look at things that where we were, just to jump real quick, because I had this number up here. There we go. I want to comment on one final thing. Even with this non-farm payroll number, 12 million jobs we've now added since May. Huge numbers. About 10 million positions are lost that have not been regained yet. We lost 22 million jobs, folks. 10 million is the number that we still need to make up. Now, it's a strong number we just added, right? 638,000 jobs. The economy's not even back open, right? Can't wait for the news that we will get, folks, of a vaccine. This virus, there's a lot of fatigue, myself included. You want to get out. You want to live life. We're going to get there. Get out and live your life. Just be careful because it's still out there. Social distance, wear a mask because the day's coming when we're going to get that vaccine. And I can't wait to see what the economy does in that because guess what? I don't want to miss a concert, a travel trip, a sporting event, anything for at least a good year or two. Like many of us, I'm sure. Just get together with your friends and family, right? That's the real deal. All right, jumping around to what else we got going on. Let's jump to stocks making moves this morning. We covered CVS, Viacom out with their numbers, 91 cents a share for the third quarter, an 11-cent beat. Revenue came in above the projections. Results were helped by stronger demand for streaming services, CBS All Access and Showtime. Interesting there. Myself, I have signed up for CBS All Access at one point in my life, kept it for about a month or two, and it was for a very specific purpose. They were streaming the World Series of Poker live during one summer. I signed up for it, gained access to it, canceled it 2 months later. It's really hard to sign up for something and have to pay that on a yearly basis. Only a few services, talking about Netflix, Prime, and Disney come to mind. Coty. They are the cosmetics maker. Yeah, my head goes right to the Kardashians because they teamed up with, is it Kylie, I believe? Unexpected profit for the quarter, sales beating forecasts, bottom line benefited for jumping online sales. They're up more than 10%, COTY. There's an acceleration from 330 to 386. Some context here, though. Yeah, talk about some pain, folks. Their deals with Kylie going back a ways. This stock's been a one-way to nothing, but they got a profit. And it's a surprise profit, so we'll see how that plays out. Hershey's, chocolate candy maker, beat estimates by 14 cents. Quarterly earnings $1.86. Revenue topped estimates. Strong Halloween sales, as well as higher demand for chocolate chips and cocoa powder. Stay-at-home consumers. I had myself a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup last night, left over from Halloween. We got some candy. Hershey, HSY. We didn't have trick-or-treating this year. Florida decided not to do that. Doesn't mean you can't have some candy and some costumes at home. And Hershey's, we're up a bit. That's the daily, 144.60. You put it on a 15-minute, you're trading up to about 148. And as we're speaking, these S&Ps, they're clawing back, 34.94. Look at this pop. We were trading at about 34.76, so we're up almost 20 S&P points since I started the program at 8:30. Marriott, they're out with their numbers. Talk about some Max Payne. Hotels. 6 cents a share is what they earned for the quarter. Market was looking for 7. Revenue basically in line. Marriott took a pandemic-related hit. Profit down 74%. I mean, pretty much all expected, right? MAR, not going to be too many surprises when just business is abysmal and the whole world knows it. I mean, look at this. This stock is just stuck. I mean, we got the rebound from the lows of March 18th. We almost hit that level again on April 3rd, but we were trading on March 26th in Marriott at 96. We're going to be trading at 100 right now on their numbers. Square out with their numbers, 34 cents a share. Market was looking for 16. They are trading higher this morning. Revenue above forecast, helped by a rebound in payment volumes after a decline earlier in the year. Square and PayPal. PayPal this week was a rocket ship, so there's the daily. From 32 on Square to 193. We're going to open at 183. There's 183 on the chart for Square this morning. And how about PayPal as well? There's PayPal. Pretty similar chart. 82 to 215. PayPal going to open about 202. They had their earnings earlier in the week as well. All right, folks. Friday of election week, we'll call it. S&P's minus by 7, catching a little bit of a bid. Stay tuned. Be right back in 3 minutes, folks.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archived workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&P's minus by 6 now at 34.98. The NASDAQ minus 64. And you got the Dow creeping into positive territory, 28,297. So we talked about non-farm payrolls out at 8:30. Strong numbers there. What we're also getting in the last few minutes is you have Vice President Biden pulling ahead of President Trump now in Pennsylvania. There you see the totals, leading by about 5,500, 6,000 votes. The bummer of all of this, folks, is that we didn't have to do it this way. These states, you're hearing all the rhetoric from the president himself talking about where are these votes coming from. Folks, they talked about it. These are mail-in ballots. They pleaded with the Republican state legislature in Pennsylvania to allow them to begin counting ballots prior to the election, just like the state of Florida did, which is why we got those numbers so quickly. We could have had these numbers if those state elected officials had decided to allow for early counting of mail-in ballots, because the numbers were going to be tenfold in a lot of cases. Maybe some counties were planning, or states were planning 200,000 before the pandemic. Now you're talking about 2 million mail-in ballots. But nonetheless, maybe the market's reacting to a little bit more clarity as you now have Georgia and Pennsylvania being on the side of Vice President Biden, and that is with mostly mail-in ballots left to go. Very difficult for President Trump to climb in either of those states. Meanwhile, Nevada and Arizona still for Vice President Biden as well. So both of those kind of colliding. The market likes clarity, and I think you're getting into the numbers, folks, and we might get it by the close. S&P's right now minus just 7 at 34.97. NASDAQ minus 62. Jumping real quick, some of the other equities with earnings. You got T-Mobile. They had some serious additions for the quarter. They are up in a big way, up about $7 this morning. You also had Roku shares. Roku, strong company, trading higher by about $9 this morning. Uber shares, a little bit of a mixed action, actually higher now to $42.20 from $41.96. And how about it? We'll end the show at 3,500 on the dot, folks, in the S&P. Catching a little bit of a bid. A week ago, we were at 32.25. How about 275 S&P points and counting? We'll see where the day goes. Stay tuned, folks. Larry Pesavento coming up next. Live programming all day at TFNN. Be right back.